Hey, what's up, good people? It's Jay Ray, the co host of Q Points, and I wanted to come to you because there are two really important ways that you can support our show. One is by subscribing to it wherever you listen to or watch your podcasts. Q Points is pretty much everywhere. The other thing that you can do is you can visit us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on Podchaser, and you can leave us a star rating. Please rate us 5 stars because you know you love Q Points. And on Apple Podcasts and on Podchaser, you can actually leave us a written review. It's not required, but it really does help to spread the word about the show, and it helps people to discover it as they're looking for new podcasts to listen to. We're always appreciative of you supporting Q Points. We thank you so much for all that you've done for us so far, and enjoy the show.
Good evening and welcome back to your favorite music podcast, Q Points, dropping the needle on Black music history. I am DJ Sir Daniel.
And my name is Jay Ray, sometimes known by my government as Johnny Ray Cornegay the Third. What's happening, good people?
You know what I always say, Q Points is your safe space for honest and meaningful discussions about Black music and Black artistry. Jay Ray, what's the word? How's your week been?
The week has been glorious, and actually, I just got a text message that made it even better. There's been so much good stuff. We just did a private screening literally before the show of this short film, and I just got a text message saying, "Thank you for that beautiful event and opportunity." So, listen, you can't beat it. The week is amazing, man. What's going on with you, Sir Daniel? How's your week?
I cannot complain. I'm ready for the weekend. There's a couple things going on, of course, over the weekend that we'll be talking about. It's also we are fully in, and y'all need to listen. Let's get into it. We are fully in Virgo season, so listen. Let's not play any games. You know what time it is. Matter of fact, isn't today the GOAT's birthday? Wait, well, today is Kobe Bryant's birthday.
It's a day.
Today is
Okay.
Today is Kobe Bryant's birthday, and we got a whole list of GOATs that are coming up that are going to be coming through from Team Virgo, Team Gang Gang Virgo. I mean, including yours truly, who'll be celebrating
Indeed.
next week. And so, I just wanted to, put that out there. Shout out to Mike. We see you in
Big
the
Mike
building.
is in the building. I'm telling y'all ain't ready. This thing that we cooking up with Big Mike, though.
Oh man. Yes, y'all are not ready. It's going to shake the table, as K Michelle said. J Ray, last weekend was so dope because I went out and to support our friend Saint Smith for his Water to Wine Gospel Day party, and let me tell you, it was everything I expected, and it exceeded everything I expected. It was actually kind of moving. It was very moving because he created a space, which is exactly what he intended to do, created a space for a subculture of people that aren't necessarily catered to when it comes to nightlife or any kind of organized day parties or anything like that. Water to Wine Gospel Day party. When I tell you the kids came through and they turned up. They literally did. There was a lot of dancing. Let me just put it this way. Juanita Bynum's lace front would have melted off. She would not have been able to deal with the amount of dancing. There was a fully stocked bar there. People
She would have
but people
lost it.
she would have lost her mind, but people were getting free.
Mm-hmm.
Which is exactly what music is supposed to do, which is what DJs are supposed to usher in, is a spirit of freedom. And Saint Smith, my friend, you did that. Congratulations. I see this going traveling. I see it expanding and growing. So he did an excellent job. Our friend Kipper Jones was in the building,
Listen,
cutting the rug. And let me say this: what's Warren Campbell? Warren Campbell's joints knock so hard. For gospel tracks, his tracks knock so hard in the club, as it were. And it was just a testament to all of those things, to production value, to creating safe spaces for people. It was just an all around great event. So shout out to you, Saint Smith.
absolutely. And so I was getting texts while the event was happening. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Trey Sam too. We see you in the chat, brother. What's happening?
Yes, sir.
So I was getting a text, and one of the texts, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was something to the effect of, "This young man is giving these people what they came here for." And what better compliment than fulfilling your goal and your mission? But the pictures look amazing. I'm just so proud of that brother, and proud to see. I never heard of anything like this, and it's clear that it taps into something that folks just haven't been talking about. So this is
absolutely dope. Absolutely. But you've been tapping in yourself, sir. You've been tapping into all kinds of associations and rubbing elbows with all kinds of notable people and whatnot. What happened for you over the weekend? I saw the pictures.
Listen, I was up in New York City, in Brooklyn specifically.
New York City.
You know,
I
okay.
had to do it. I'm sorry.
Listen, so I'm gonna do an aside, and then I'm gonna tell you. My aside is, New York is deceptively beautiful. Like, I often have to remind myself when I'm there.
Yeah.
And I'm there fairly often, right? But I often, you're driving over the bridge, you're sitting in the back of a car, or you're on the train, and you're like, this place is so beautiful. And then I remember it's $5,000 for rent, and it's completely insane here, and I should take my behind back home. I had that moment where I was just like, oh, but look at it. And then I'm like, no, go home.
All it takes is one of those Doberman Pinscher sized rats to run across your feet, and you're reminded, get me out of here.
Get me out of here.
Get me out of here.
But where I was hanging out with our good folks over at the Black Podcasters Association. The Black Podcasters Association has been incredibly supportive of Q Points. And I was up there because they had their inaugural summer social. And it was super dope. We got a chance to talk podcasting. We got some really good gems just being there. And also we're able to share some gems. So that's what I did this past weekend, which was dope. And Sir Daniel, this weekend, you got a gig this weekend, right?
I do. The good brother, Jonathan Blanchard, aka JB's, is opening up his doors to his record lounge and is creating a stage for a young comedian to come, and he's doing his first comedy show at JB's Record Lounge. Yours truly will be, providing a couple tunes before and after the set. T. Sanders is coming through and is going to give you your comedic needs over at JB's Record Lounge this Saturday night. You can always hit up JB and hit up his Eventbrite for those tickets, so you could be in the building. And so it promises to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to it. Every time, this weekend and Labor Day weekend comes around, is certain things that I used to look forward to. Coming from New York, I used to look forward to a couple things. The the Eastern Parkway Labor Day Parade for all us Caribbean people out there, and the MTV VMA Awards, which have been filmed in Brooklyn and all over New York a couple times as well. And so this year it's happening, and the list was released for the performances. And again, don't want to sound like the old man in the room, but I see Santana. I recognize Saucy Santana's name. Shout out to him. And he's about to, this is a huge look for him. He's gotten some really good looks ever since he's gotten signed to that major label, and he's going to be performing on the MTV VMAs. We got J Balvin is performing. The new Eminem, Jack Harlow, is performing. Lizzo is doing her
so
thing.
much. Shout out to Lizzo.
And receiving her very first Video Vanguard award is Nicki Minaj.
Yeah. That's the thing that's happening. That's happening.
So are you looking forward to the VMAs?
I haven't looked. The short answer is no. I haven't looked forward to, but it's not just because it's the VMAs. I don't think I have looked forward to, and I've said this on the show before, I haven't really looked forward to an award show in like a really long time, because it's really all more of the same. I felt, and maybe this is just because I was young, but I did feel like there was a distinction, maybe because there wasn't so many. Now I feel like there's like a lot of them. But, yes, Nicki is going to go ahead and get the Michael Jackson. Is it still called the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award or just the Video Vanguard Award? I'm not sure. It used to be branded as the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award. But you know what? Times changed. A lot of stuff has happened. I don't know if that's a thing anymore. So that's good for her. And I mean, Nicki is having a really good moment right now, going to number one. And let's just pause on that for a second. So this is the first time in history where we had three black women back to back. Four. Oh,
Beyonce, Nicki Minaj, Lizzo, and Tems.
This is amazing.
All four. All in 2022.
Shout out to black. Listen. This is what we do here.
Shout out to black women.
It's what we do here. This is a great time. So shout out to all of those folks. I will say the VMAs have often provided me with some of my favorite performances of any award show. I just feel like I don't know, because the stages were a little more free. Like I felt like the American Music Awards and the other ones were like real buttoned up, and MTV, they could just like let that shit loose. So this makes me think back. So my favorite VMA performance, Sir Daniel, and I'm curious to know if you have one, but I really struggled with this one, and I'm not going to do a tie. I'm going to pick one right now.
Go ahead.
And it is Lauryn Hill's 1999 live performance. She did a medley. That thing, first of all, she had basically Earth, Wind, and Fire on stage because it was like 20 people in the band.
Yeah.
Killed that entire thing from top to bottom. And I think that is my favorite VMA performance. That Janet Jackson performance from 93 is my very close second. I just need to throw it out there. But Lauryn Hill's performance at the VMAs was sick.
You're making me go back in my catalog. A couple things stick out. Little Kim and the Ladies' Night performance with Kim, Left Eye, rest in peace, Angie Martinez, Missy, Da Brat.
Everybody.
That was everybody. That was major. That was major for hip hop. That was major for Kim and all the ladies. I think Angie Martinez being a radio personality and being on a hit record, that's huge. Of course, we witnessed Beyonce being lowered from the rafters with her arms in a straitjacket doing "Ring the Alarm." That was interesting as well. And of course, just there are a lot of moments. I can't pinpoint one particular performance where I'm just like, oh yeah, that did it for me. But there were a lot of great moments, like Britney Spears and the albino boa constrictor. Those things are iconic.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, those things are iconic, and I think that's what's for us, for people of a particular age, we're not seeing anything that's like iconic to us.
That's
and I'm gonna put that on me. I'm not witnessing anything that I find iconic, like what has happened in past shows. However, again, shout out to Nicki Minaj being honored with this Video Vanguard medley. Again, Nicki is the first female rapper since Lauryn Hill back in 1998 to have a number one on Billboard. So shout out to her for that. You know, all her fans are quite happy. However,
thank you for the however, comma.
So it's so funny that she's winning a Video Vanguard award, and a couple years before, Missy Elliott was up for the same award, and so
deservedly so. It's Missy Elliott.
So, and I just really want to ask the Barbs: are y'all okay? Is everything okay at home? Like, seriously, are y'all good? Because Missy Elliott asked a simple question on Twitter, didn't name names, it wasn't pointed at anybody. She just had a question about the difference between a hit song and a classic. And all of a sudden, the Barbs, I guess they didn't take their Adderall or their Ritalin earlier that day, and they just went on a tirade attacking the icon that is Missy Elliott.
That was so weird. I didn't see that question as shade. I'm pretty good at detecting shade. You know what I'm saying? Like,
same.
Pretty good at it. And I'm like, this is just a question. And we actually had a separate conversation in one of the meetings that I had this evening. Stan culture concerns me. It's okay. I've been huge fans of a lot of people in my 45 years of being on this earth, but to attack the way that folks attack, one, Nicki don't need defending. She real rich. She all right. She can dish it. She has dished it. She can take it. It's all right, y'all. Y'all ain't got to do all this. And one, y'all in particular shouldn't be coming for Missy Elliott. Missy Misdemeanor Elliott, who has given you classic after classic after classic. What?
Yeah. Somebody needs to check on them and just, I don't know if your probation officer just needs to check on you or what, your therapist needs to up the doses. I don't know, but get help, please. I beg of you. But, you know, it's not just them, but this week in particular, J. Ray, has been really, I don't know if it's the season, this moon and this new moon that we're in. I don't know what's going on, but there has been a lot of wild stuff happening in the music industry itself.
Yes.
And it's so funny that we have our guest on tonight to talk about the industry and labels and contracts and things of that nature. And a lot of we're talking about Offset is off of QC now, and they're beefing publicly.
I was like, oh, now we finally get to understand what is going on, because I've been literally asking this question for months. I'm like, we know something's happening. I just don't know the what.
And then you've got OGs like Jay Prince. Making threats, like thinly veiled threats to Meg Thee Stallion on Instagram. And then you got the 1501 Entertainment guys attacking her. And there's these lawsuits. Everybody's got lawsuits. It's just a really wild time in the music industry. And I'm super excited that we have our special guest tonight, Jay Nolan, the good brother Jay Nolan, who is, I say he's an artist and an activist all in this at the same time. And he's joining us tonight. And this is going to be a really dope show. So for those of you that have tuned in, you are truly in for it.
Absolutely. So we're going to read this brother's bio because I want you to understand what he's coming with. Jay Nolan is an independent hip-hop artist, songwriter, and music entrepreneur raised in the Atlanta area. His songs have been featured in NBA 2K22, Kevin Hart's Zero F's Given, Lizzo's Watch Out for the Big Girls, Lil Fire's Everywhere on Hulu, Xfinity's Black Experience channel, and the CW's All-American, and many more. He's also been highlighted by the legendary NYC radio station Hot 97 in their Top Shelf Freestyle series, debuted his 2021 single Lanishit on Sway in the Morning, in addition to making guest appearances in Patreon's Pursuing Music Without Permission campaign advisement. In 2021, Jay Nolan self-published a two-part book series, which we will be talking about tonight, titled The Pen Game Portfolio, which are guides to helping independent music creators track their royalties and monetize their music in non-traditional formats such as TV, film, creating custom songs for small business and content creators, and much more. Moving further into the music education field, Jay Nolan recently began taking speaking engagements in youth summer camps, festivals, and colleges. His goal is to help build a stronger, more informed economy for independent music creators to thrive in. So check. Before y'all meet him, first and foremost, Jay Nolan's an MC. So
first and foremost, yes.
Listen, so we going drop Legal Hustle. So y'all gonna watch that. Then we gonna come back, and then we gonna meet the good brother Jay Nolan. So check out the video. Come right back.
Got my legal hustle, welcome to the trap. I can blow a stack, bet I make it back. You can hit my line if you need a track, but we can't even talk if it ain't about the bag. Got my legal hustle, welcome to the trap. I can blow a stack, bet I make it back. You can hit my line if you need a track, but we can't even talk if it ain't about the bag. My studio sessions turn into fireworks. These reptiles on me like a Lacoste shirt. Plain Jane, make your eyes hurt. Fuck a sponsor. My mission to get what you prosper without the concert. Pandemic showed me I could get it off the muscle. I be grinding year round. Y'all be waiting for the summer. I just fill the gaps. Don't need a light for the tunnel. Y'all looking highly disgruntled. I used the mic for my hustle. Dog. I came up, triple beam changed up. Built the team, serving up the fiends through the screen. Living out the dream. Still independent. Don't need the red tape. Gang green, cut the dead weight, that's my headspace. Yeah, I've been a boss, I just now embraced it. Feeling in W9s like an application. Strong mind, advantageous, planning vacations. I put my dogs in the business like I'm Baron Davis. Got my legal hustle, welcome to the trap. I can blow a stack, bet I make it back. You can hit my line if you need a track, but we can't even talk if it ain't about the bag. Got my legal hustle, welcome to the trap. I can blow a stack, bet I make it back. You can hit my line if you need a track, but we can't even talk if it ain't about the bag. Real settle, I done crept up, homie, I stepped up. Froze the neck up, my chase up, homie. Curveballs got me hitting sliders. Pinning hits like pinatas, it's a message in the cuts like stigmata. Yeah, we been in them corners, night to the morning. Ay, crossing over through the borders, ay, new chicks, she imported. Ay, bring sand when I'm in the beach, boy, stay dripping like water. Ay, private chef cooking up the plate, came a long way from that porch. I'm the artist, I'm the writer, I'm the publisher. Bitch, I'm an author, got more drive than a Thunderbird. I'm a leader, put my people on the hella work. Play me, I be rocking your skull like I'm the Punisher. Still got it, still bad it. Your lady hanging off the kielbasa. Bill pasta, I'm entertaining in my Villa Casa. Been a monster, but need the profits. I forgot me till I popped up on them like Team Rocket. Got my legal hustle, welcome to the trap. I can blow a stack, bet I make it back. You can hit my line if you need a track, but we can't even talk if it ain't about the bag. Got my legal hustle, welcome to the trap. I can blow a stack, bet I make it back. You can hit my line if you need a track, but we can't even talk if it ain't about the bag.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Legal Hustle by our very special guest, the one and only MC, artist, activist, Jay Nolan is in the building. Welcome, welcome.
Hey, what's going on? Such a dope introduction.
Absolutely, because the song is fire. We see DJ Red Handed is on help on the cuts back there as well. How you doing, first and foremost, Jay?
Everything is good. I can't complain at all. You know, I'm just glad to be here for real.
Well, before we go any further, Jay Nolan, there's a lot of J's on the show tonight. Jay Nolan is about to enter into a really different kind of lifelong contract.
Indeed.
Did you know that?
I did
He's
know
about
that.
to enter into a very lifelong. Congratulations to the newly engaged Jay Nolan. Shout out to you.
Yes, indeed.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, we are like
Thanks for
super
having me.
excited. So one of the things, I happened to see you live. This is back when I was living in Atlanta. This is probably like 2016, 2017. And I never forgot you. Like I was like, that dude is dope because it was at that moment too, in I think Atlanta hip hop where things were changing and they were changing really rapidly, and I felt like I was like, yo, that dude's like spit, he's dope. And so we've always been just kind of watching. So I'm so glad that you decided to come here and hang out with us tonight. But can you start us off? You are clearly an MC. Like, how did you discover this? Why did you make the decision to become an MC? How did you figure it out? What's your background, man? Walk us through that.
Okay, so I've always been obsessed with music, honestly. Like that was outside of like basketball, music has always been the thing that carried me throughout life. My earliest memories was being like 2, 3 years old. You got the crisscross, the Rex and effects, and all of that type of stuff coming on TV. And you know, MC Hammer, my brother broke his collarbone doing an MC Hammer spin, fell on his neck. You know what I mean? So all of this type of stuff was always around me. So around 8, 9 years old, same older brother that I'm talking about, he was already like doing music and recording with his homeboys. He lived in Connecticut. I lived in Atlanta. So he was coming down from up north with all of this swag and like, back at that time they was wearing the goggles on their head and it wasn't like that in Atlanta. So
Right.
I'm like, I gotta get like him. So he kind of influenced me with everything that I had going on at that time. 'Cause I just wanted to be like big bro. So I just kind of emulated him. And like once I turned about 12, I kind of decided to really get involved with like rapping on the school bus and all of that type of stuff. Cause that's like the Freestyle Friday era and
Yeah.
Direct Effect on MTV. So all of those things were like really influential to my whole journey. So once I got bit with the bug, it was a wrap. I didn't want to do nothing else. And then going into high school at 13, I still had like basketball aspirations, but I hurt myself during that summer trying to prepare to go back to school and try out for the basketball team. But I kind of like got side swiped out the air at the gym and like snapped my tibia. So I was out for like 3 months, the entire summer. So all I really had to do was like play songs and play video games. And I started writing songs over like my favorite beats that I was listening to. I didn't even have instrumental tapes at the time, but I was just like listening to like at this time, just the Outkast, the 50 Cent, Diplomats, Rockefeller had everything on Smash. So I'm just like trying to write and keep up with what they're doing. And once I went back to school, one of my homies was like, yo, like this stuff that you got in this notebook is actually like competitive with what we're listening to. So once I got that confirmation, that was all I needed.
Wow, man.
I just been at it ever
Wow.
since. I didn't want to do nothing else.
And hearing your story, there's a lot of similarities to a lot of stories that we've heard of people who they get that bug and they follow the same lineage of coming into the game of being a rapper, but just clearly. And I was at that show too, I believe, J. Ray.
You
I was
were,
at the
yeah. I
same
believe
show.
that. I meant to say that. Yeah, I think you were there with me. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so I recall that. And so by that time, we are in full-fledged, 30 years into of hip hop and hip hop being a business.
Yeah.
And a lot of people trying to break into the business and not realizing that it is a business. And, a lot of people historically have gotten jerked, and it's just a continuous, I call it a circle jerk. It's a continuous, event of unfortunate series of events for people that are trying to break into the business of music, especially rap music. But when did you, in your artistry, like figure out and say, you know what, and sit back and say, you know what, there's a lot of craziness, a lot of unfairness, a lot of injustice going on to myself and fellow artists. When did that switch go off for you to put on the activism hat as it pertains to artists like yourself?
It took a long time. I didn't really start getting involved with that side of it till 2019. So it was probably, I had already been doing music for like 12, 13 years, if not more by that time. So I just was being very observant because like I was trying to figure out why I didn't feel like my music was reaching the people that I thought it should. That was one element. The other element was so many other people that were around during that time where y'all saw me at that show, you know. That was a whole class of artists, and a lot of them still aren't here doing music today. You know, a lot of folks have passed on to other things. So in order to kind of sustain myself, and not just myself, but I wanted to see people like me be able to continue to do what they love and not have to suffer because you want to do it, you know? So that was basically the main motivation that got me into the whole music education side of things. So my first real foray into it, I used to do this podcast called Fresh and Local Radio with some of my friends. And I got tired of just talking about current events and pop culture like all the time. It got to be like repetitive. So I'm like, but I'm watching like people like Ryan Leslie at the time. He had like the super phone and he was doing interviews talking about that stuff. So I was bringing that information to the podcast and wanting to talk deeper about that. And once I saw that there was somebody out there where I knew him from being in the major label system. I didn't really know what was going on with him at that time. And then I saw him talking about the technology aspect of things and how he was able to build that one-on-one fan connection and talk to his supporters and basically move without any industry assistance, no management, no nothing. I'm like, that sounds like something I would do. You know, so I just started like really engulfing myself into how I could kind of do the same thing in my own way. And it was kind of like another thing that influenced it was I started getting a lot more placements in the TV and film sector. And a lot of my peers were curious like how I was doing it. So it was like, okay, this is a lane where I can actually show people how to do some of the same things that I'm doing, or even just get on the same thought process that I'm on, so where we all can start figuring some things out for ourselves. So that was pretty much the light bulb for me.
And it sounds like you've avoided some pitfalls too, because you know, if you talk to most artists, they'll tell you about when they got or something grimy happened to them on the business side. It sounds
it's happened to me too.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit of like maybe what happened, or what was that moment that you were like, oh, this is grimy. This is that I can't let this happen to me again.
I've had a couple different circumstances. So the first one that really stood out to me was I did like a collaboration with this company over in Germany, and they wanted me to like be a part of their label, and it was like a new label that they were rolling out, but they had some partnerships and things of that nature. So I did this whole EP with them, and it was being distributed in like Urban Outfitters and all of this different stuff. And so I'm like, okay, y'all got some type of movement going on, but I never received any money off of that project. Like the project is still available today, and I've never been paid off of it. You know, so
wow. I'm
like, I know at least made $1 out of there. Like, y'all ain't gonna give me nothing. Like, all right. so that was like one of the first. Go ahead.
Oh no! Go ahead. Finish.
So yeah, that was like one of the first situations that made me really curious. Like, yo, I don't know what's going on here. I don't think that's how it's supposed to go though. And then more recently, even after I started helping other artists in 2020, I had started this management partnership with the local guy here in Atlanta, and he was actually managing these producers that I was very fond of, still work with them to this day. But basically, I was looking at their situation. I'm like, oh man, they got a nice little situation going on over there. It looks good. Let me get down. And we did some meetings and whatever, did a single and, did like a test run, seemed cool. But the paperwork really wasn't right ultimately. And outside of just the paperwork, our personalities didn't mesh very well either. So this particular person, he had like a very blunt way of speaking to people. Not just blunt, but he was extremely opinionated on top of the bluntness. So those type of people, they're not very receptive to other people's perspectives. Rubs people the wrong way. And I started noticing that was kind of like a recurring theme. Like people kind of knew this person for that personality trait, so they didn't really want to be around him. So I was noticing it, but we were still working, doing things. But we had a particular instant where me and those producers were collaborating on this virtual event, because this was 2020. And like he cussed out this dude for something that was like meaningless, right? And he cussed him out, kicked him out his crib, like the whole nine, while his brother is sitting there and he's like, nah, you ain't gotta leave, but he gotta go. And it's like, huh? How you do that to somebody's family?
Right.
Yeah, that's
like,
wild.
So that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. It was already like little microaggressions that wasn't really working up to that point. But that was like, nah, I got to separate myself from this situation. So at the time, dude was like really trying to like act like he was embarrassed for how he acted. Like, oh man, I'm sorry. If you want to terminate the contract and all of this type of stuff, man, I understand. So I'm like, all right, man, let me think about it. I don't want to give you an answer right now, but I'll get back to you. So within a couple of days of that incident happening, he calls me out the blue and he was like, yeah, I feel like there's still some lingering something going on. And I'm like, all right, well, since you wanted to call me now, like, let's go ahead and talk about it. I think I'm going to honor what you said the other day. I would like to terminate our situation. And he's like, oh, well, if you want to do that, what if I say you can't? I'm like, huh?
like where did your offer come from?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I ended up having to, he tried to like do this. He tried to pull this move that people use in the industry called what is that clause? I forgot
like an early termination clause, or
it was something along those lines where if you separate early, he was supposed to get a certain amount of money for a certain set period of time, or I would have to pay it in a lump sum, right? So he basically was like, you're gonna have to pay me $3,000 to get out of this contract. I'm like, huh? And he was like, yeah, since we working on the project and I'm doing X amount of things towards the project, for my services that I offer to people that I'm not closely working with, I charge them $3,000 for that too. So you're gonna have to pay me $6,000 all in.
Wait, the 3,000 went to 6,000?
Yeah, instantly.
So
and he was like, I know them other guys ain't gonna pay towards it, so you might as well just pay it all yourself.
Wow.
Yeah, so
wow.
I had to go and get an attorney to we didn't go to court, but I was able to get an attorney to kind of intimidate him out of the BS he was talking about, to get him to back off. And the producers that I was working with, after they saw that I was able to get them off my back, they did the same. And I'm like, this is exactly why I've been doing things on my own. I really didn't need this cat, but I felt like, oh, let me start building my team, da 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 da. Because everybody tells you need a team. That's like one of the main things people say, especially people in the industry when they do these interviews. They always talk about that. But I've gotten way more results on my own than having certain people around.
So, Jay, I don't know if we on the same wavelength here, but we might need to just skip to like the meat.
We need to go to the
show because Jay just opened the door to the whole to the crux of tonight's conversation.
Absolutely.
The title of the show is it music or multi-level marketing? Like, and straight up bullying. Like, this is crazy. Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah. Go ahead, Jay Ray.
I want us to go right from. But I want to hold this because you actually talked about this manager in the Pen Game portfolio in the second volume. And so, yes, we're going to take this and go right into our conversation. But these 2 volumes of books, I felt like as I decided to listen to them. One, thank you for providing both versions of the book. So we put the link in the chat. It'll be in the description for folks that come back. But Jay Nolan is not only giving us the book that you can read, he is also giving us the book that you can listen to. And what I love about them is that they are accessible, knowledgeable books. You did something that Sir Daniel don't even notice yet because I wanted to save it for the show. Your book did something for this show that I hadn't yet done. And I want to tell you what that thing was, because we were able to play Legal Hustle. We had been talking about having a release so that we can start playing some stuff on the show, So we're very DIY here. Me and Sir Daniel, we be working. We be like, okay, we got to do our agreements. We got to do our things. We got to have it together. So we did an agreement for the release. I was listening to the Pen Game portfolio when I was in New York, and you started talking about the different types of licenses, right? And I was like, oh, you know what I didn't what I didn't say explicitly in the release was what type of license this is. You need to put that in there, Johnny, because people need to know what type of license they're actually granting you. So thank you and your book for just sparking that. Because, I knew what type of license it is because I've been in the industry for a long time, but I didn't explicitly say it so that other creators would know too. So your book sparked that thought. So,
oh man, that's dope.
Yeah, man. So I wanted you to know that. So my question for you as we kind of move into our main conversation though is, what do you hope folks get when they listen to the Pen Game portfolio? What do you want them to get from it?
I think the whole purpose of the Pen Game portfolio is just showing people how much you can accomplish on your own just by having the right amount of knowledge, having the wisdom to apply the knowledge, and having a lot of discipline to get up every day and do the work that's needed. I think that's where a lot of artists get lost is you may know what to do, but are you consistently going to do it until it works? Because a lot of people give up. It's like, oh, I tried this for 2 weeks. It didn't pop off, man. It don't work. And it's like, man, it may take 2 years. It may take 5. But if this is something you really want, nothing should be able to deter you from that. So I just wanted to be able to give people, all right, so just to keep it all the way real.
Yeah.
There's everyone in the remotely associated with the music industry talks about the book, All You Need to Know About the Music Business by Donald Passman. Mm-hmm. Now, I respect that book a lot. There's, it gets updated every 2-3 years. Mm-hmm. Great. But I'm like, why does he have a stronghold on that? Like, why can't somebody or anybody from our culture compete with that and speak to the people of our generation? Because so many people that I know don't have that book. They don't know about that book. And if I gave it to them, it would probably be too intimidating for them to even read it.
It's a big book. It's over there somewhere on my bookshelf. It's a big book.
Yeah. So, and not to be ageist or anything, but that dude, Donald Passman, is like 60 years old. So is he really keeping up with what's going on right now to that degree? I don't know. But I know I am. So I just figured I would go ahead and speak to my audience, my network of people that are looking for answers. And I wanted to give it to them in a palatable way that was like, okay, I can read this, I can log onto my computer, and I can go do that. And I also wanted to compete with a lot of the people that are, running ad campaigns on social media, giving people bad information.
Thank you and that was the other thing. And you not only gave easily digestible information, but it was factual, and it was just. So I'm shouting out. This is your plug this is me plugging the Pen Game portfolio. I want everybody to check it out because you give folks exactly what they need to start the process. And I think you said that at some point in the book. Like, I'm giving you what you need to at least start you off, and then you can go from there.
Right.
Absolutely. J. Ray, I kind of wish, and shout out to you, J. Nolan. Again, you say this is for your generation of artists that are coming up. I kind of wish Fabio Foreman had gotten a hold of this book
right
a few months ago,
for sure.
Because this is how we got to this moment here of this topic of, is it music or is it multi-level marketing? Because I've had this theory in my mind for a long time, and I'll break it down for you guys once we come out of this. But this is the clip that sparked this particular show. Hit it.
I'm like, then he's like, yo, Mace. Then we need to go sit down and meet him. I'm saying, I ain't gonna lie, he just pulled out the paper and I just signed the shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, immediately.
So was it no lawyer, no shit, no nothing?
Nah. The who brought me to him, he was like, yo, man, just sign it. You bugging. I'm like, yeah, read it. He like, he just signed it. It's good. So I just signed it. You know what I'm saying?
And was it advance anything? It was just like,
yeah, the advance $5,000.
5,000?
Yeah.
Whoa. He signed you for 5,000. That's all it gave you?
That's all it gave me. 5,000 was a lot. 5,000 hit when that shit.
Yeah.
I thought that shit was gonna last till whenever that shit was gonna last till that thing last
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Word.
And listen, but how long was the contract? You still had your rights?
I'm still in the contract right now.
So the discussion regarding that whole, the deal with Fabio Foreman and Mace, it got me to thinking. I've always had this ongoing thought that in order to be in the music industry, it feels like, especially with rap artists, it felt like for a long time that a lot of rap artists were brought in by somebody. And then when they got in, that person, they got signed to some deal. And then all of a sudden, there was a time when other people all of a sudden had their own imprints on a record label, maybe about a year after they had been signed to the record label.
Right.
And then you had them going out and bringing in more people. And I was like, is this Amway? Is this Avon?
To get on with this label, you got to bring on 20.
Because what I'm thinking about specifically like the early 2000s, when G Unit was super hot, and then 50 Cent was what is the superstar. Then all of a sudden he's got G Unit, and then it's like a whole roster of maybe about 10, 15 people. Yep. Same thing with Mace. Mace had Harlem World. He had his sister. He had all these different people signed under him. And I'm thinking to myself, turn them into rappers. So it just made me think. I was like, I started thinking, is this like a multi-marketing scheme? Are these people being brought in order for somebody to get out of their contract? And based upon what you're saying and what is in the book, the Pen Game, it sounds like that may not be far from the truth. In your delving into the industry, Are you seeing that? Am I picking up on what's being put down? Am I close?
The way you just described that, it was like, dang, I didn't even look at it like that. Because from a proprietor standpoint, it seems like the right thing to do, right? It's like, okay, you got here, you probably got an entry level deal. It's not the greatest, but you get a couple albums, you renegotiate your deal, you start a label. Now you can put your homies on, which that's what they want anyway, because they're like, bro, we still struggling. So, but when you flip the perspective like you just did, it's like, wow, okay, maybe it is a certain level of multi-level marketing, pyramid scheme, wake up now, all that type of stuff, So you definitely brought up an excellent point.
And it's a very targeted and predatory nature that I have noticed time and time again is preying on, like you said, the desires of individuals to want to reach back and pull people out of the hood and try to help everybody else get put on so they can change their lives. It comes from a very genuine place. But again, I feel like, I go back to that Prince quote. The music industry is not run by musicians. It's run by attorneys. It's run by lawyers. Nobody that has any kind of musical inclination at all. And you have these people, these artists with these very genuine souls who want to, their art out there and they want to take care of friends and family. And I think the industry is honing in on that and is taking advantage specifically of communities that look like us. Because I'm sure there are people that get jerked all the time, but I see, it just feels like rap music and hip hop culture particularly is targeted with when it comes to these labels and these deals.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And I think one of the differences, because I believe that all genres get treated, fairly similar. But even when we look at somebody like if we look at what Taylor Swift had to go through, they took her through the ringer. But one thing that Taylor Swift had that a lot of the rap artists don't is that she immediately got on top of her business and was like, nah, I'm not about to let y'all just play with me like that. A lot of the artists, a lot of the rappers, are just going to go on social media and complain. They're not really going to go find the people that are going to help them get through it, get out of it, or at least, in a situation like a Kanye West, get the contract amended, things of those types of things. Like everybody's not afforded those same opportunities.
You bring up actually a really important point, because I think underlying all of this, and this actually deals with the first interaction, having the access to an attorney. You said this in the book. You was like, listen, it's really important that you have somebody that you can call so that you're not scrambling to find somebody when you need. Because one of the things that we've heard time and time again is I felt pressure to sign.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to give me, they got this stack of money sitting in front of me, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they like, sign this, you can take this, and we're good. And then my brain automatically goes to, no. Like, you will not pressure me into anything. I'm going to take this back and let my people look at it. But I also recognize that I come to stuff with a particular level of privilege and knowledge and not, I just don't want to get played. So, but I think you're going back to, in the community, we definitely need folks that are legally knowledgeable, that are easily accessible, so that when folks end up going into these rooms, they're not going into these rooms by themselves with with somebody that they think is their homie and is trying to put them on, and forgetting that this is business. Like Big Mike just said, it's like the bait and switch. Like, you're getting me in the room on the premise that we cool and I'm helping you, but it's like, but no, but you're about to sign a contract. That's now business.
Oh, and real quick, and don't use the attorney that they provide for you.
Absolutely.
That person is in cahoots.
It's supposed to be
that
illegal.
person is in cahoots.
But
Speak on that. It's supposed to be illegal because I didn't know that was supposed to be illegal.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's
I'm just
supposed to be
thinking
illegal that they can't provide you the lawyer from their side to
it's a conflict
defend
of
you.
interest.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a lot of times people can't even speak on that part of it because there is legal implications that come with that. But a lot of people have made that mistake because you actually do need someone to be present on your behalf, just like in a court of law or in a deposition or something, like it's pretty much the same principle, but we don't know that. So they kind of get over on us in that way. And it's like, shoot, am I going to take this? Or, I mean, that's money right there. We already don't want to work. Like artists today, they 17, 18. The last thing they want to do is get a job and have to go to school. And I was, but it's like, man, you could save yourself a world of trouble if you just had a little bit more patience and stuck it out and did things the correct way.
And this is stuck in my mind. I don't remember who first said it, but if somebody is about to offer you $1 million, that means you're worth way more.
Yeah,
they're not
Master
giving
P
you what
definitely
you're worth.
said that
You
because he
know,
turned down $1 million. I think it clicked to him, Master P. He was like, "Well, shoot, if you're
it
willing
was
to
Master
give
P.
me that, I must be worth like 20."
Yep,
Like,
it was P.
yeah, he went back and declined it and went back to the hood and had to figure it out. But he actually like he is really like the blueprint for independence, to be honest, because he had to put money up to even learn what he was worth. He went and hired Michael Jackson's attorney just to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's a major move that a lot of people, again, if you're not making any money on your own, you can't even have that conversation.
Jay Nolan, I wanted to ask you, since we were talking about attorneys, do you think F and Mika had a good attorney on their side before they lost their record deal?
I'm oh man, that's some crazy stuff right there. Like, to be honest, I think that they did. I think that because although the company separated themselves from the project, that project I don't believe is over. I think that FN Mech is going to be reprogrammed or rebranded in some type of way, and he'll be back.
So let's just bring people up to speed, J Ray, on what
Okay.
FN Mecca is, because I was being facetious, of course, everybody, but please, J Ray, go ahead.
So, oh dear God, FN Mecca. So FN Mecca is an AI powered. Now I'm saying that in quotes because we just learned that there's a rapper who was actually behind all of it. I thought they were just a voice, but it sounds like they were doing a lot more than voicing things. But it was an AI powered and created rapper that Capitol Records decided to sign. But it was the creation, obviously, of a technology company. And the folks was not having it. They was like, nah, what you not going to do is shuck and jive put some shucking and jive and AI on the screen, on our screens, and have us buying that, and you just not going to do it. And Capitol Records came back and was like, we sorry, Black. Literally, I'm sorry to the Black community. I said, they got these people saying, we sorry, Black people, our bad. I've never read that before.
But do you think it was really, if say by chance that there was no backlash and people actually fell for this and went for it, do you think they would have taken this away? Because I really do believe, and we've talked about this, and from that, even from the clip that we did about the Elvis, the gentleman that Elvis stole his voice from, basically. There is this insidious nature of the business, especially when it comes to Black people and Black creatives, that they don't mind stealing from us. I think they're constantly mining for ideas, from Black creatives across the world, and that's
Absolutely.
why they found this young man to voice this FN Mecha character, and because they feel like it doesn't matter that we just need to take your essence and plug it in. Now with artificial intelligence, we can just plug it in, and you don't even get anything for your
that was crazy
for your work.
And on top of that, the ultimate goal with that project was long term. They weren't even going to have a human voice for it. It was going to be a programmed voice once they got the technology together.
That part is the scariest part to me. We obviously know that the AI has been impacting our lives, our entire lives, quite frankly. I mean, there's always been iterations of artificial intelligence. Start with another genre. Like, I'm tired of hip hop. Like, it's like almost like hip hop is the easiest one of, obviously it's incredibly popular. It's basically the culture. But I also feel like it's the one that people can grab because they feel like it's the easiest way to make a buck.
Yeah.
And going into our and how this builds into our conversation tonight as well is listening to the brother that was the voice being like, I never got a dime, like I never got paid from all of this. He's like, they got deals. He's like, they ghosted dude, and I'm like,
yeah.
I wish you had the pen game portfolio because
and that guy is a whole nother conversation because I personally don't even believe he's the voice of the character. But there's some other information online about that. So it's a lot. It's a deep situation.
Oh my god!
So there's a deep fake on top of the deep fake, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Wow. But again,
because the person that the other person that's speculated to be the voice is not even Black. He's like Hispanic, and he has a much closer voice to the voice that you heard on the song than the other guy.
Wow. Honestly, I thought this was like a cartoon version of Tekashi 6ix9ine when I first saw it.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. In their press release of marketing this character, it was like a mashup of Tekashi 6ix9ine, Lil Pump, and another third rapper. And it was basically, I mean, when you look at it, you see that they just did a mashup of cultural appropriation on top of each other. I'm like, dang, like how many gold teeth, septum piercing, tattoos, half dread? Like, come on, man.
It's super crazy because again, they're stealing voices, they're stealing essence. Actually, I think when they ask y'all to duet on TikTok or all these other platforms, that probably will be the voice from in the future. But let me start with my conspiracy theories and let's
Nah, you're absolutely right.
But it's just so, the fact that Jay Nolan did a whole project and never got a dime for it. J Ray, before you and I came on the air, we were talking about the brothers from that were on Trax Records that made all this amazing dance music. Never saw a penny of it. It's just, it feels like the culture, Black people specifically, are being poached for our creativity. And what Jay Nolan do you think is the solution for us to get it back?
Solution. I think, not to be self-promotional, but I think more artists need to get the pen game portfolio or get with people that can help them. I mean, music education is being taught in schools now. So enroll in these classes, like, and then I also think that there's a huge responsibility that's not being necessarily met by the contributors that we look up to. Some of these artists that we respect and love so much, they've gone out and basically repeated the process over and over that they went through. It doesn't make any sense. If you didn't like it, why would you turn around and do it to somebody else? So, I mean, that's kind of like the whole Mace situation. He's still complaining about Diddy, but then we have this situation where this other artist is like, what's the difference?
Right.
So, So those are things that, those are actionable solutions. But overall, I think that there has to become a push for the maturation of what we call hip hop. It's something that I've been thinking about for years. Like, why is the youth culture? I understand youth culture is exciting, but that should not be the primary demographic forever.
Right.
You know, um, and I do see that we're pushing towards like listening to older artists, as at least musically. But I think that there still has to be a receptiveness to becoming more mature in how you approach things. You can't always blame somebody else for your mishaps or for your shortcomings. If you didn't know any better, you can't always say they took advantage of you.
Yo,
Wow.
you just dropped an important gem because it gets me thinking about sometimes we often talk about this idea of kind of treating black folks like, you know, like they're children, right? And it's almost like I've never thought about the fact that yes, hip hop is kind of in this perpetual youth state. And we even, and I've even heard people say, I don't actually say it, but I have heard that, hip hop is youth culture. And I'm like, and I think about myself, right? I remember in 2001 when I felt like, "Ooh, this is like grown up hip hop." I felt like the roots were like grown up hip hop. Like I'm like, "Oh, this is what I want to be listening to it as an adult." You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like this is good. And I feel like we should, to your point, champion artists growing and expanding and maturing, understanding that there is going to be a youth culture as a part of it, but
Right.
hip hop turns 50 next year. So the
Exactly.
culture is is an adult.
Yep.
So, and that should be represented as well. Like we don't see rock and roll as like youth culture. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Why do we have to see hip hop that way?
Yeah. And another shift that I think is going to be important is that people got to understand, once you become a musician, you are an entrepreneur. Like, you have to recognize that. If you don't, you're going to find out one day. But because, number one, even signing a record deal, everybody complains they don't get no insurance. They don't get, I mean, they got life insurance on some of these rappers now, but
Oh,
that's that's something.
Bruh.
that's a
But you don't get
whole
health
nother show.
insurance. You don't get no type of perks. You're basically an independent contractor, which means you're an entrepreneur. So you got to start equipping yourself earlier to, act as a business.
Man. And I want to be cognizant of your time because we are truly enjoying this conversation and really appreciate you taking the time out to be on Q Points, because this is specifically what we started this podcast for, is for these conversations, these honest conversations to be had, and in hopes that one, people will appreciate artistry, whether it's from the past or it's present um, artists and their contributions, but also for an artist, somebody that wants to dip their toes into the industry, to have some type of guidance, to have some type of um, have some type of guidance to let them see, so that we don't continue to repeat these mistakes, or not even mistakes, but lessons over and over again, because we're missing out on a lot of generational wealth. And that's the term that I used when we were talking about the whole Elvis conversation. We're missing out on a lot of generational wealth. And a topic that has come up a lot regarding generational wealth is sampling. And one of the last questions that I want to get your opinion on is what is your take on sample snitching? Because it's become it's a buzzword now, sample snitching, because again, back to TikTok, which is a huge farm of culture and information. There are people who they build their platform on letting you know, hey, this is where such and such got this sample for this song, and this is why it's hot. What is your take on sample snitching? Is it hurting or is it harming? I mean, is it not hurting?
Oh man, it's such a deep question to answer. Understanding like how embedded sampling is into hip hop and like that whole era of like that late 80s when the sampling rules like really took effect. But ultimately, if I'm gonna sit here and say you have to be an entrepreneur to be a musician, then you have to understand that sampling is copyright, you know. So you have to be able to handle that correctly. You're playing with other people's property. So trying to pull the wool over somebody's eyes is really just going to disappoint you in the long run because somebody's going to figure it out. And what ends up happening in these situations, I mean, Kendrick Lamar, Big Sean, all these artists that had songs that they sampled other people's music early in their career, 10, 15 years later, the original artist finds out and they want millions of dollars. So you might as well not play with it, you know, because it's going to catch back up to you. So for the people that are out there like condemning the sample snitches, it's like, man, just sample the records you want to sample and, you know, do what you will. But if you get caught and somebody asks you for some money, you can't be mad.
Listen, and you talked about in the pen game I really like this book. You talked about in the pen game portfolio, like, listen, if you are going for, you want to get some licensing, you want to get some placements, if you got a bunch of samples in your joint, they might like ease up like, I don't know. Because if all your paperwork is not together, it's harder to do, right? Because
it's an instant red flag. Like, because if you're dealing with TV, like it's no way they can pass Earth, Wind, and Fire not being cleared on this song. Like that's going to be a legal issue for them.
Nope.
And you're not going to be the one that has to deal with it. It's going to be the film company. So in order to cut that off early, they're going to have to get rid of you.
Wow. Gem after gem tonight, J. Ray. We listen. I'm surprised we're not getting. We might receive an invoice for this after the show is done. But we are so appreciative of you taking the time to be on Q Points this evening, Jay Nolan. Please tell the audience how they can find you, how they can support you, and what's next.
Okay, so easiest way you can find me is realjnolan.com. That's my website. It has all my bio description. You can see all my latest news. If you're on social media, you can go on Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter and just put in Real J Nolan. You'll see it on the screen here. So you put that on any social media that's relevant and I'll pop right up. And what's next? So we're ending August right now. Coming in next month, I will be having about 3 placements on this HBO Max show called The Hype. And for those that may not know what The Hype is, it's basically where these independent fashion designers basically compete for a lump sum of money in the end, and they put you through these challenges. This is not designers where they just putting designs on t-shirts. They actually have to learn. If they don't know how to sew, they have to learn how to sew and all of that in front of the world. So it's a really dope show. It's going to be their second season, and I'm actually going to be having some music played in a few of those episodes.
Man. Crazy. That's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Jay Nolan. Man, J. Ray.
Listen,
another great episode of Q Points.
Absolutely, Jay. We really appreciate it, like you coming through. And so, and for all of those folks that are joining us, be sure that you go ahead and you subscribe to Q Points. If you like Q Points, you be like, oh, I like those dudes. They really dope. You can leave us a tip. We got our tip jar. So we put the link in the chat for that. If you like, I really, really love Q Points and I just want to support everything that they do, you could become like a whole member and get like all of our behind the scenes stuff and all of our extra content and whatnot. So you can do that. Make sure that you subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Definitely you want to leave us a review because that always helps. Go ahead and subscribe on Spotify. Go ahead and subscribe on YouTube. Click the little bell notification so you can get notified. What we are doing on YouTube has been so cool. We've been doing like extra stuff over there. So definitely hit us up and make sure, I always say this because I need y'all to be following Sir Daniel. He over there on Mixcloud doing Sugar Honey on the Rocks. Just killing it. He got Bahamadia. Y'all can't see him on the thing, but I know that he got Bahamadia over there. He just be killing it on the turntables. So make sure that you follow DJ Sir Daniel as well.
I appreciate that, J Ray. But J Ray, what do I always say every week? In this life, you have a choice. You can either pick up the needle or you can let the record play. I'm DJ Sir Daniel.
I'm J Ray, y'all.
That's J Nolan. And this has been Q Points, dropping the needle on Black music history. Peace.
Peace.